The most dangerous person in any room is rarely the one shouting. It is the one who can endure silence without flinching. Noise is cheap, reactivity is weak, but strategic silence, it creates psychological pressure so severe that people will ruin their own positions just to break it. In this masterclass, you will learn how to weaponize the pause, leverage strategic absence, and use cold stillness to exert absolute influence. Human beings are inherently uncomfortable with silence during social interactions. When a pause lingers, an intense psychological pressure vacuum is created, compelling the weaker or less disciplined party to fill the void. Most people default to over-explaining, blabbing, or offering hasty concessions just to break the uncomfortable stillness. By remaining intentionally silent after an offer, question, or statement, you force the other person to confront their own internal anxieties. They will assume their performance was inadequate or that you possess superior information, leading them to reveal hidden motives, back down from aggressive demands, or make unprompted compromises. Silence acts as a psychological mirror. It reflects the other person's insecurity directly back at them. The strategist who can sit comfortably in total silence holds immense tactical leverage, turning plain stillness into a relentless interrogation tool that extracts truth without asking a single question. Constant availability breeds familiarity, and familiarity sharply diminishes perceived value. In high-status social dynamics, continuous accessibility signals low status, lack of competing priorities, and an eagerness to please. Tactical absence is the deliberate, calculated withdrawal of your presence, time, or attention to reset the perceived supply and demand dynamic of an interaction. When you are always accessible, your input is taken for granted. When you strategically step back, your presence instantly transforms into a high-value commodity. This is not emotional ghosting or childish mind games. It is a structured pause in engagement that forces others to reflect on your importance. By controlling your availability and mastering the art of stepping back at peak moments of interaction, you trigger a subtle fear of loss in the other party. They begin to actively pursue your attention, shifting the social power dynamic entirely back into your favor. Most people listen merely to formulate their next response, constantly seeking opportunities to assert their own voice. Weaponized listening, however, is a high-status strategy where you absorb information not to reply, but to gather intel while remaining entirely unreadable. When you receive another person's words without offering immediate emotional feedback, animated facial reactions, or hasty nods, you deny them the validation they subconsciously crave. People rely heavily on real-time feedback to calibrate their social performance. By withholding those subtle validation cues, you force them into a state of deep uncertainty. They begin to second-guess their own arguments, try harder to persuade you, and inadvertently reveal their tactical blind spots. Active, silent listening shifts you from an eager participant to an objective evaluator. You sit in the position of judge while they scramble to audition for your approval, granting you absolute analytical control. Artificial social urgency is a common manipulation tactic designed to force hasty emotional decisions. When someone demands an immediate answer or pushes you for a rapid reaction, they are attempting to impose their frantic tempo onto you. The delayed response is your primary defense mechanism against this artificial pressure. By inserting a deliberate multi-second pause before responding, even to routine questions, you instantly break the momentum of their rush. This simple delay signals that your mind is unhurried, unbothered, and completely independent of their timeline. It demonstrates that you evaluate information strictly on your own terms rather than falling in line with external demands. A 3 to 5 second pause dramatically elevates the gravity of your eventual words, making your response carry significantly more weight. You dictate the speed of the interaction, forcing the other party to slow down and operate strictly within your rhythm. Verbal attacks, insults, and passive-aggressive jabs are engineered to provoke an emotional reaction. The attacker's primary objective is to pull you down into a defensive frame where you justify yourself, raise your voice, or attack back out of anger. The moment you react emotionally, you validate their provocation and surrender your high-status positioning. Cold neutrality under attack is the art of absorbing aggressive energy with absolute physical and emotional stillness. When confronted with disrespect or hostility, you do not cringe, snap back, or engage in an argument. Instead, you adopt a completely relaxed posture, slow down your breathing, and lock eyes with the attacker in unbroken silence. You allow their harsh words to hang awkwardly in the air without offering any emotional traction. This unyielding stillness acts as a mirror, reflecting their hostility directly back onto them in front of everyone present. They are forced to witness their own lack of composure while you remain completely untroubled. After a heavy, deliberate pause, you respond with a calm, flat tone or simply transition the subject, treating their outbursts as utterly inconsequential. By refusing to absorb their chaotic energy, you disarm the attack instantly and expose their emotional instability to the entire room. True power is quiet. While amateur manipulators rely on loud assertions, aggressive posturing, and constant talking to control a room, a master of high-status social dynamics operates through the shadow frame. The shadow frame is an overarching psychological presence constructed entirely out of unshakable body language, gaze control, emotional detachment, and disciplined silence. It is the art of projecting so much grounded authority that your physical presence alone shifts the social hierarchy before a single sentence is spoken. To build a shadow frame, you must eliminate all high-beta, reactive micro-behaviors. You must stop fidgeting, avoid rapid blinking, suppress the impulse to nod excessively for approval, and move with deliberate, measured slowness. When you enter a room or sit at a conference table, your silence must never feel like shyness or anxiety. It must feel like a deliberate choice driven by absolute internal security. Because you do not expend energy trying to impress others or fill every quiet moment with empty noise, people naturally sense a profound layer of depth behind your composure. They will subconsciously treat your rare words as valuable currency and adjust their own behaviors to gain your quiet seal of approval. The shadow frame operates below the conscious radar, establishing you as the implicit center of gravity in any environment. You never need to demand respect or explain your position. You simply project an undeniable reality where respect is the only logical response.